The miserable sleep of 19th century factory workers. 12-hour shifts, soot-stained homes, child labor, cramped slums. The romanticized sleep of the past is a myth. You've seen it in paintings and poems, a quiet moonlit rest in a warm bed, a slumber as deep and peaceful as a winter's snow. But you are not a landed gentry, and your slumber is a different beast entirely. Your sleep is a war, a short, brutal, and often futile campaign against a body and mind that refuse to shut down. This is the Sleepless Historian, and you would have hated sleeping as a 19th century factory worker. Part 1. The Tyranny of the Whistle. Your day ends not when you feel tired, but when the factory whistle blows. It's a sound that has governed your life since you were old enough to walk to the mill. A shrill metallic scream that tears through the smog-choked air at 5 a.m. to start your day, and again at 6 p.m. to mercifully end it. Your body is a clock, a machine that is wound up and set in motion by that whistle, and you will not rest until you hear its final liberating shriek. This is a cruel new rhythm, a perversion of nature's own cycle. For millennia, humanity has lived by a segmented biphasic sleep pattern. A first sleep followed by a period of quiet wakefulness, then a second sleep. But the factory whistle, that relentless master, has destroyed that ancient rhythm, compressing two natural rests into one frantic, desperate struggle. But the real struggle begins when you get home. It's a walk you've made 1,000 times, your feet shuffling on the soot-covered cobblestones, your head throbbing with the aftershocks of the mill's mechanical roar. The air, thick with the black, greasy smoke from the factory chimneys, chokes your lungs and stains your skin. It settles on everything, a grimy, suffocating blanket that covers your home, your clothes, and your very soul. You walk past rows of identical, back-to-back terraced houses, their windows blackened, their roofs caked in a permanent layer of industrial filth. Your world is a monochrome wasteland of gray, black, and a deep, oppressive brown. When you finally reach your home, you are not met with the welcoming glow of a hearth fire. Your home is a single cramped room, a space you share with your wife, your 3 children, and the lingering stench of sweat, coal smoke, and damp earth. There is no privacy, no peace, no sanctuary. You step over a pile of sleeping siblings, their small bodies curled up on a thin layer of straw on the hard, cold floor. This isn't a family home, it's a holding pen, a place to exist for the few hours you are not at the mercy of the machine. The single fireplace that heats and cooks your food is dying, its last embers casting long, dancing shadows on the peeling walls. You are a walking testament to the day's toil. Your face is smudged with soot, your hands are calloused and raw, and your back aches with the memory of 100 hours of stooping over a loom. You are a ghost, a person who is too tired to eat, too tired to talk, too tired to even think. Your only desire is to collapse, to surrender your body to the sweet, sweet oblivion of sleep. Part 2. The Unquiet Slumber. But sleep is a fickle mistress. It does not come easily. Your body, despite its utter exhaustion, is still buzzing with the day's trauma. The sound of the machinery, the deafening, clanking rhythm of the looms, and the spinning jennies is still echoing in your skull. It is a phantom noise, a persistent drumbeat that you cannot turn off. You lie on your pallet, a sack filled with straw that has long since lost its softness, and you listen to the night. The sounds of the city are not the quiet hum of a healthy, sleeping world. They are the miserable symphony of the slums, the constant cough of a child racked with consumption from the factory's cotton dust, the angry shouts of a neighbor, the sound of a fist hitting a wall, the muffled cries of a drunken brawl. The rats, the constant scurrying, scratching rats, are a persistent sound in the walls and in the floorboards, and their presence is a reminder of the filth, the disease, and the pervasive misery of your existence. Your body refuses to relax. A constant, low-grade throb pulses in your muscles. The joints in your fingers, gnarled and swollen from a life of working with thread, are on fire. The ache in your back is a dull, persistent pain that will not let you rest. You are a prisoner in your own body, a person whose physical pain is a constant reminder of the day's brutality. You toss and turn, trying to find a position that doesn't send a jolt of agony through your overused frame. You pull the thin, threadbare blanket up to your chin, but it offers no comfort. The chill of the damp room seeps into your bones, a cold that no amount of tired warmth can dispel. And the mental torment is even worse. Your mind, despite its exhaustion, is racing with 100 different anxieties. The thought of the rent that is due at the end of the week, the cost of a doctor for your sick child, the fear of getting your hand caught in the machinery, the knowledge that a single misstep could mean the loss of a finger, a limb, or your life. The factory overseer's face flashes in your mind, his cruel, emotionless eyes watching your every move. You are a person who lives in a constant state of low-grade panic, and you are too tired to fight it. You've heard stories of men who, in their exhaustion, simply fell into the machine. A moment of inattention, a lapse of consciousness, and their life was over. This fear is your nightly companion, a silent terror that keeps you teetering on the edge of sleep. Part 3. The contaminated air and body. The air you breathe is not the clean, crisp air of the countryside. It is a thick, greasy, unholy mixture of coal smoke, cotton dust, and the lingering stench of unwashed bodies. You breathe it in all day at the factory, and you breathe it in all night in your home. It coats your lungs, clogs your nostrils, and infiltrates your very pores. It is a poison that is slowly, methodically killing you. The cough is a constant part of your life, a hacking, rasping sound that rattles in your chest and leaves you breathless. The cotton dust, so fine it seems invisible, has turned your lungs to a grimy, fibrous mass. You are breathing your own death with every single breath you take. Your body is a sponge, and it has absorbed the filth of the Industrial Revolution. Your clothes, once a clean, simple set of work clothes, are now a permanent part of you, stiff with grime, coated in a layer of black, oily soot. The soot gets everywhere. It settles on your bed, on your food, on the faces of your sleeping children. You try to scrub it off with a rag and a bucket of cold water from the communal pump, but it is a futile effort. It is in your pores, under your fingernails, and in the lines of your face. You are a walking, breathing monument to the grime of your world. And the smells, my God, the smells. The air in your home is a suffocating mix of dampness, sweat, and the sour odor of stale food. Outside, it is a miasma of open sewers, animal waste from the stray dogs and horses, and the acrid smell of the factory's smoke. Your sense of smell, once a tool for identifying food and danger, has been dulled. Your mind has learned to ignore the constant assault of filth. But the nose knows, and even in your sleep, your body is battling the toxic atmosphere that surrounds it. Your dreams are a cacophony of odors, a surreal blend of cotton dust and decaying garbage. The lack of sanitation is a different kind of horror. There is no running water in your home. There is no toilet. The communal privy, a foul-smelling pit shared by a dozen families, is a breeding ground for disease. You live in a world where a simple cut could be a death sentence, where a contaminated cup of water could give you a fever that will kill you in a week. Your body, already weakened by a lack of food and sleep, is a helpless target for every single disease that is born of filth. The concept of a refreshing shower, a moment of clean solitude, is an alien thought. You are a dirty, grimy person in a dirty, grimy world. Your clothes are rarely washed, and your body is a constant source of discomfort. Your skin is irritated, your hair is greasy, and your teeth are rotting in your head. You are a monument to the Industrial Revolution, a living, breathing testament to its brutality. Part 4. The Agony of the Child. The most heartbreaking part of the misery is the children. Your son, your daughter, a child no older than 7, is working alongside you in the mill. They are not playing in a field, not learning to read, not living the carefree life of childhood. Their childhood was stolen by the whistle, and it has been replaced by a brutal, unforgiving reality. This is the ultimate betrayal. You, as a parent, are meant to be a protector, a provider of a better life. But you are a captor, a collaborator in a system that is slowly, methodically destroying your own blood. You watch them as they work, their small hands moving with a practiced, weary precision. They are scavengers, crawling under the moving machinery to pick up the loose cotton, a job that is as dangerous as it is demeaning. You hold your breath every time they go under the machine, a silent, desperate prayer that they will not get their hair or their clothes caught in the spinning gears. You have seen a child lose an arm, a hand, a life in a single, careless second. The fear is a constant, gnawing pain in your gut, a physical manifestation of your powerlessness. And at night, when you get home, the terror continues. You see your son, no older than 7, his face smeared with soot, his body shaking with exhaustion. He is not sleeping, the deep restorative sleep of a child. He is a ghost, a person who is haunted by the past, a person who has seen too much, done too much, and can never ever go back to who he was. The cough, a dry, rattling sound, is a constant part of his existence. He is breathing in the cotton dust, a fine, insidious powder that is slowly, methodically killing him. You hear his wheezing breath, a sound that is as familiar as the sound of the mill, and you feel the helpless, crushing weight of your failure. You are a parent, but you are also a captor. You are forcing your child to live in a world that is slowly destroying him, and you are powerless to stop it. This is the true horror, the knowledge that you are a part of a system that is consuming your own children. You can't even afford to feed them properly. Your meager wages are barely enough for the basics: the watery stew, the stale bread. A piece of meat is a rare luxury, a dream that you can only afford on a good week. The children go to bed hungry, their small bellies rumbling with a low, miserable ache. They are not just tired, they are malnourished, their small bodies stunted, their minds clouded by a lack of proper food. They are a different kind of ghost, a person who is not just haunted by the past, but by the hunger of the present. The romanticized image of the Victorian family is a comforting lie, a way to make the brutality and the violence of the past palatable to the modern mind. But the truth is, the family was a unit of production, a group of people who were forced to work together, to live together, to die together. There was no love, no joy, no escape. There was only work and sleep and the slow, methodical destruction of your mind and body. Part 5. The grinding insomnia. You cannot escape it. The sleeplessness is a part of you, a constant companion that will not let you go. You lie awake at night, staring at the peeling walls, listening to the sounds of the slums, and you feel the crushing weight of your despair. You are a person who is too tired to sleep, too tired to live, and too tired to die. Your body, a wreck of old wounds and aching muscles, is a constant source of discomfort. Your mind, a graveyard of old memories and anxieties, is a constant source of torment. You are a person who is haunted by the past, a person who has seen too much, done too much, and can never ever go back to who you were. The psychological toll is immense. You are living in a constant state of low-grade anxiety, a constant fear of the next day, the next breakdown, the next violent encounter with a machine that is always hungry. Your mind, despite its exhaustion, is a battlefield. It is a place where you fight the ghosts of the past, the men you've seen lose a hand in the loom, the children you've seen lose their lives. You are a person who is constantly on guard, constantly aware of the dangers that surround you, even in your sleep. There is no such thing as peace. There is no such thing as a quiet moment. There is only the constant grinding battle against a world that is determined to break you. And the food. My God, the food. The meager, watery stew, the stale bread, the lack of meat and vegetables. It is a different kind of torture. Your body, already weakened by a lack of sleep, is now starved of the nutrients it needs to survive. You are a person who is slowly, methodically starving to death, and you can do nothing to stop it. You lie awake at night, your stomach rumbling with a low, miserable ache. You are not just a person who is tired. You are a person who is hungry, a person who is slowly, methodically being consumed by the very world that you are a part of. The life of a 19th century factory worker is a life of constant motion, of constant discomfort, and of constant violence. It is not a romantic existence. It is a grueling, thankless job, and the only reward is the knowledge that you have survived another day. You are a professional, a warrior, a living weapon, and you are constantly in use, constantly being tested, constantly being pushed to your limits. And one day, you will break. You will break from a broken bone that never truly heals, from a wound that gets infected, or from a lifetime of constant abuse. Part 6. The final years. There is no retirement. There is no pension. There is only death. You will not die a glorious death in battle. You will die alone in a cold, dark room, a tired, broken man who is finally, mercifully at peace. You will die a nobody, a person who has been used up and then thrown away. You will die a ghost, and the world will not even notice you are gone. The factory whistle, a sound that has governed your life for so long, will sound again, and a new boy, a new girl will be taken from their family and sent to the mill. They will be taught to be a killer. They will be taught to be merciless. They will be taught to be a monster, and they will become one. And your life would have been a slow, methodical march to the grave, a life of constant discomfort, constant fear, and constant violence. You would have been a tool, a weapon, and you would have been used up and then thrown away. You would have died a nobody, a person who has been twisted and warped by a life of violence. This is the sleepless historian, and you would have hated sleeping as a 19th century factory worker. Part 7. The unspoken ailments. Your body is a library of pain, a catalog of the horrors of your life. Every ache and twinge tells a story. The throbbing in your hands is from a lifetime of repetitive motions. The threads and bobbins a constant grinding punishment. Your back, a permanent monument to your toil, is a knot of muscle and bone that refuses to uncoil. You are hunched, your shoulders permanently stooped, a human question mark whose very form speaks of a life of endless labor. And the lung. My God, the lung. The cough is a constant rattling sound that is as much a part of you as your own name. It is the signature of your trade, the sound of the cotton dust slowly, methodically turning your lungs to stone. You have seen men cough up blood, a red, sticky testament to the internal war that is raging inside their chest. You are next. You know it. It is a slow, methodical march to the grave, a death that you will not fight because you are too tired to care. And the wounds, the small, insignificant wounds that a modern person would ignore. the cuts on your hands, the blisters on your feet, the raw, chafed skin from your rough clothes. These are not glorious battle scars. They are the marks of a life of constant wear and tear, and they are a constant source of infection. There is no medicine, no antiseptic, no doctor who will care about a simple cut. You simply wrap it in a dirty rag, and you hope that it doesn't fester. But it does. It always does. You have seen men lose a finger to a simple cut, a hand to a simple infection. The pus, the smell, the fever, it is a different kind of horror, a quiet, insidious evil that lives in the shadows of your world. Part 8. The Social Prison. Pures pralav verganut to because tjur forsik. Your life is not just a physical prison, it is a social one. You are a worker, a human cog in a great grinding machine, and your place in the world is fixed. You are at the bottom of the social ladder, a person who is looked down upon, a person who is judged by your clothes, your accent, your smell. The middle class, with their clean clothes and their well-fed bodies, look at you with a mixture of pity and disgust. They see you as a part of the problem, a person who is lazy, uneducated, and morally weak. They do not see the 12-hour shifts, the grinding poverty, the constant soul-crushing despair. They only see what they want to see, a person who is not like them, a person who is not worthy of their compassion. And your boss, the mill owner, is the king of your world. He is a god, a person who holds the power of life and death over you and your family. He can cut your wages, increase your hours, or fire you at a moment's notice. He is not a person who cares about you. He is a person who cares about profit, and you are just a tool, a piece of machinery that is used to make him richer. You have no rights, no union, no one to fight for you. You are a disposable asset, a piece of meat that is used up and then thrown away. This is the sleepless historian, and you would have hated sleeping as a 19th century factory worker. Part 9. The psychological toll. The wounds you can see are the easy ones. The cuts, the bruises, the broken bones. These are things that can be fixed, that can heal. The real wounds are the ones you can't see. The psychological wounds, the moral injuries. You are living in a constant state of low-grade anxiety, a constant fear of the next day, the next breakdown, the next violent encounter with a machine that is always hungry. You have seen things that would haunt a modern person for a lifetime. The sound of a child's scream as they lose a hand, the cry of a man being maimed, the smell of a machine that is covered in blood and oil. These are things that are etched into your mind. There is no such thing as post-traumatic stress disorder in your world, but the symptoms are there. The nightmares, the anxiety, the sense of dread. These are your constant companions. You cope with it the only way you know how, with alcohol, with violence, with a grim, unyielding sense of fatalism. You drink away the pain. You fight with your neighbors. You lash out at your family. You are a creature of violence, a person who has been twisted and warped by a life of brutality. The boredom is a different kind of torture. The endless, mind-numbing boredom of a 12-hour shift. The constant, repetitive motion of your hands. The same action, over and over again, 1,000 times a day. Your mind, a weapon that is constantly on guard, has nothing to focus on but the endless cycle of repetition. You are a prisoner in your own mind, a person who is haunted by the past, a person who has seen too much, done too much, and can never ever go back to who you were. The only escape is alcohol, a temporary reprieve from the crushing despair. Part 10. The hunger. Your body is not a machine. It is a piece of meat, a fragile, mortal vessel that is constantly being pushed to its limits. The food you eat is a different kind of pain. The meager, watery stew, the stale bread, the lack of meat and vegetables. It is a different kind of torture. Your body, already weakened by a lack of sleep, is now starved of the nutrients it needs to survive. You are a person who is slowly, methodically starving to death, and you can do nothing to stop it. You lie awake at night, your stomach rumbling with a low, miserable ache. You are not just a person who is tired. You are a person who is hungry, a person who is slowly, methodically being consumed by the very world that you are a part of. The hunger is a constant, gnawing pain in your gut, a physical manifestation of your poverty. You dream of food, you dream of a juicy piece of meat, a fresh loaf of bread, a handful of vegetables. But these are just dreams, a cruel, impossible luxury. You wake up in the morning, your stomach aching, and you face another day of grinding labor on an empty stomach. You are a ghost, a person who is not just haunted by the past, but by the hunger of the present. The life of a 19th century factory worker is a life of constant motion, of constant discomfort, and of constant violence. It is not a romantic existence. It is a grueling, thankless job, and the only reward is the knowledge that you have survived another day. You are a professional, a warrior, a living weapon, and you are constantly in use, constantly being tested, constantly being pushed to your limits, and one day you will break. Part 11, The False Promises of Religion. The church tells you that you are a sinner, that your suffering is a test from God, a punishment for your moral failings. They tell you that your only escape is through prayer, through faith, through a life of moral rectitude. But you know the truth. The church is a political entity, a power player in the brutal game of medieval politics. You have seen a priest bless a war that is fought for no other reason than a noble's greed. You have seen the church's hypocrisy, their double standards, their constant demand for money and land. You are not a sinner. You are a victim, a person who has been twisted and warped by a life of violence. And you know that the church's promises of salvation are just words, a lie to keep you fighting. You are a sinner, and you know it. You have seen too much, done too much, and you know that the church's promises of salvation are just words, a lie to keep you fighting. The church is a weight on your shoulders, a moral burden that you can never truly shake. Part 12, The Slow Death of the Soul. The life of a factory worker is a slow, methodical destruction of the human soul. You are not a human being. You are a weapon, and a weapon has no soul. You are trained to kill, to maim, to destroy. You are taught to be merciless, to be ruthless, to be a monster, and you become one. The man you were, the boy who was taken from his family, is long gone. He has been replaced by a creature of violence, a person who is capable of doing things that a normal human being could not even imagine. You have seen 100 different horrors, and you have committed 100 different acts of violence. Your mind is a graveyard of memories, and your soul is a barren wasteland. You are a ghost, a person who is haunted by the past, a person who has seen too much, done too much, and can never ever go back to who you were. The psychological toll is immense, and you are forced to live with the knowledge that you are a monster, a person who has been twisted and warped by a life of violence. The loneliness. You are a part of a band of brothers, a company of knights, but you are also a solitary figure. You are an outsider, a person who is constantly on the move, never truly belonging to a single place. Your family is a distant memory, a place you visited once a year, if you were lucky. You are a rootless, wandering soldier, and the only home you have is the one you carry with you, the constant ache in your joints, the bitter taste in your mouth, and the grim, unyielding knowledge of what you are. Part 13, The end of the line. There is no retirement. There is no pension. There is only death. You will not die a glorious death in battle. You will die alone in a cold, dark room. A tired, broken man who is finally, mercifully at peace. You will die a nobody, a person who has been used up and then thrown away. You will die a ghost, and the world will not even notice you are gone. The factory whistle, a sound that has governed your life for so long, will sound again, and a new boy, a new girl, will be taken from their family and sent to the mill. They will be taught to be a killer. They will be taught to be merciless. They will be taught to be a monster, and they will become one. And your life would have been a slow, methodical march to the grave, a life of constant discomfort, constant fear, and constant violence. You would have been a tool, a weapon, and you would have been used up and then thrown away. You would have died a nobody, a person who has been twisted and warped by a life of violence. This is the sleepless historian, and you would have hated sleeping as a 19th century factory worker. The end.